Let me make something extremely clear. The moment the African people start to lose confidence in electoral processes, that is when you start to see the rise in military coups, which we don't want on this continent. It is therefore critical that leaders across this continent take democratic elections as a major issue. They must make sure that elections are free and fair, because that confidence that comes from that free and fair election gives credibility to that leadership that takes over. And in the absence of that credibility, you open other avenues of trying to form governments using illegitimate means. So this call is a knock on all of Africa, not just West Africa, all of Africa, to ensure that electoral processes are free, fair, and credible. We have no option but to make elections become free, fair, and credible on the African continent.
Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome to Rumbie Uncensored, our podcast. I just want to say you're welcome and thank you very much for visiting this channel. If it's your first time, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you ring the bell. But if you're my regulars, my buddies, my siblings, I just want to say to you shout out and thank you so much for sticking around. It means a lot. Your company is great and I'm enjoying it. All I want to do is for you guys to take a look at what we're about to show you now. Take a listen. All right, breaking news. So SADC will be holding an extraordinary summit on Zim elections this coming Wednesday, the 25th of October, 2023. So the NewsHawks reported that the Southern African Development SADC will hold an extraordinary summit of heads of state and government in Zimbabwe on Wednesday under the auspices of its current chairperson, Angolan President João Lourenço. The NewsHawks can exclusively reveal, as recently disclosed by his publication, which has a detailed brief on what has been happening of late on the issue behind the scenes. The special meeting follows intense regional consultation in the aftermath of Zimbabwe's disputed elections held on the 23rd and 24th August, which have left the country, region, and international community more polarized and deeply divided amid deepening economic deterioration. Details on the upcoming SADC Extraordinary Summit on Zimbabwe are contained in the documents exclusively obtained by the NewsHawks from Zimbabwe's Military of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. A letter written on the 19th of October 2023 by the SADC Troika organ on politics, defense and security cooperation director, Professor Kula Ishmael Selekane, to the regional board's national conduct persons in Zimbabwe and Zambia's foreign affairs ministries, person Jigiji and Isabella Lemba, respectively, says the special meeting will be held virtually on the 25th of October 2023 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. SADC is headquartered in Gaborone, Botswana, capital. Angola is the current chair. Jigiji is also acting chief director of multilateral affairs in Zimbabwe's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, while Limba is permanent secretary in the Foreign Affairs in Zambia. Reference is made to the above subject matter extraordinary summit. I wish to humbly notify that following consultation with the HE, João Manuel Goncalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, and the chairperson of SADC, a virtual extraordinary meeting of SADC heads of state and government has been scheduled to take place on 25th of August 2023 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 8 hours Botswana time. Seletsane writes in his letter, whose reference is notification of an extraordinary summit of SADC of heads of state and government to the held virtual on the 25th of October 2023. The summit will, among others, receive and consider the report of extraordinary meetings of the Council of Ministers and Organ Troika Summit, which were held virtually on the 27th of September 2023, regarding the impending deployment of the SADC mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the approved budget thereof. Here we are. So finally, that time you have been waiting for, we are praying, and I guess you're going to do the same too, because what else can we do? We really need a divine intervention in Zimbabwe.
I also know that Mugabe conceded defeat in 2008. He phoned Mbeki and Obasanjo to concede defeat. I hope that Thabo Mbeki and Obasanjo will one day make that public. But one of them, I won't say which one, told me that Mugabe phoned them that Saturday night and said, look, I lost the election and I concede defeat. And I know that Mugabe stuck to his guns. I was prepared to go. His wife was since bags packed to go somewhere on the following day when Mnangagwa and Chiwenga approached him and said, you stay where you are. And then they contrived the runoff, sadly with the help of South Africa. And runoff took place, very violent. 360 people were killed. The South African, I came here as part of a delegation to Cape Town to see members of the ANC. I don't want to mention names, they're my friends. I saw them, and through them, a cabinet committee subcommittee of South African cabinet was set up on the Zimbabwe issue. It was on the basis of that cabinet committee that South Africa did not recognize the runoff. And indeed, it was the basis of that committee that Thabo sent the generals to South Africa, to Zimbabwe. I met them, and I was one of the few to have read the report, because I was flying to Joburg in the company of General Romano, who was a friend. He passed away, no? That's why, yeah. And I also took people who had lost their hands in the violence to the South African embassy in Harare. And Romano broke down in tears. How can a liberation movement treat these people like that? He was a broken man. So there's no doubt at all here in South Africa as to the brutality of the regime in Harare. So it amazes me, it angers me, in fact, when I hear the nonsense coming out of people like Mbalula's mouth. They know it. And the report has never been published, the general's report, to this day. That tells you. Is it complicit behavior? I don't know. But to get back to 2008, the runoff took place. Mugabe was sworn in at midnight before boarding a plane with Mbeki to Sharm el-Sheikh. Ambassador, I forgot to mention that. Yes? I'm not talking about it was contrived, but clearly there was a definite plan to keep Mugabe in office. And it's no secret that I had Thabo speaking the other day, saying the Zimbabwean people came together to form the GNU. It's only half true. Morgan Tsvangirai was literally regimented into the GNU. That's a fact.
All right, moving on. All right, this morning, by the way, I told you yesterday that there's been an issue between South Africa and Zimbabwe after the Springboks, because South Africans, some of them, not all, some of them on Twitter were actually saying, Zimbabwe, you seem like you don't have a life. Why are you acting like Springboks belongs to you? But then South Africa forget that we actually have quite a number of Zimbabweans that are also playing. That actually part of the game, you know, Tendam Tawara, who really is a god. And all of a sudden, why are we being chucked out, you know? But then, Geoffrey Kalimba this morning, you know, a Zambian dude, he woke up and said, I don't understand why some Zimbabwean comrades like to force things with South Africans. They call you queries, ask you to use roll on, and which is demeaning. You still want to force yourselves on them. Now they are ridiculing you for supporting their rugby team. Look at us. We don't force ourselves on the Haibo crew. We are here in our Zambia, our Namibia, and Botswana. We are happy. Sichava Sanaha. Just keep on building your land and don't try to force things with folks who constantly insult and treat you like you aren't human being or human enough. Sorry. Okay, so this is definitely my comment. On the other hand, I do definitely agree with Joseph Kalimba. The bottom line is we really don't have much happening in our sports sector in Zimbabwe. So wherever there is some light, we kind of, okay, let's just at least maybe pop in to see what's going on. So for us Zimbabweans, we are struggling to find balance, you know, with this ZANU-PF We are tired. I just hope and pray that this SADC meeting definitely is going to yield something strong, so at least we can have direction, because we are tired being disrespected all the time. We really, really are tired. But what was fascinating, that same lady who was fighting with Joseph Kalembe, now she replied, her name is Kwena Moleko. She said, "You are equally obsessed of us, my friend. You always find a lucrative way to insert yourself. Zimbabweans equally call us a SASCO, but not only South Africans must be deemed as xenophobic. It's equally defamatory. There's difference between support and hostile agendas to take over for us, but now undermining South Africans. He's a Zimbabwean. He plays for Springboks. He's a blood naturalized citizen. There's no two masters. It's either we accept him as South African or he is Zimbabwean. We have accepted these people in, but we will not allow them to undermine our sovereigns and dilute our national identity. But since it is easy to blame South Africans, is that you are Zambian, you will never undermine Zambians, no matter the years you stayed there. Even if you have Namibian roots, you take pride in being Zambian. We ask Zimbabweans to do the same in South Africa. Respect our so-called multiculturalism and integration processes. Hashtag stronger together as South Africans forever. So I'm going to say this. I still think that I do agree with Kwena. And the reason why I'm agreeing with Kwena is not because I'm stupid, because I know the value that we carry us as Zimbabweans. We are super amazing people. We cannot keep on outsourcing joy. We need to start building a Zimbabwe that we know we deserve. And if ZANU-PF can hold us at ransom, we can free ourselves. It's just that we have allowed fear to take charge. So it's time we say, fear not, brothers and sisters, we can fix the Zimbabwe that we want. So that will be my own commentary on it. So Kwena, relax. Zimbabwe is going to be a great nation soon. And you'll be looking at us and said, how can we come to Zimbabwe? And we're going to have a conversation. So Zimbabweans, don't worry not. We are on our way to the right place. We know Zimbabweans, we are amazing, right? We will not allow our souls to be abused. So guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below. But I think the reason why I came here really was just because of SADC Troika. And most of people are extremely excited that finally we are praying. Please pray for this country. We deserve the best. I love you all and have a great day. Thank you so much for sticking around. We've had fun, and I'm asking you guys to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you ring the bell, and see you guys in my next upload. I love you all. Bless you.